Welcome to Community Conversations. I'm Steve Grappe with Stand Up Arkansas, and we're here today doing a candidate profile with Alex Holladay. Alex is running for House Rep here in Arkansas in District 70, and that is North Little Rock. And you kind of cover the Park Hill area, North Little Rock, kind of South Sherwood.
This weird sliver of Sherwood, and then Park Hill, Lakewood, obviously the biggest chunk of it, Indian Hills, and Shady Valley.
I grew up in Sherwood, so you say there's a little sliver, but from growing up in Sherwood Town, you take old Sherwood. So you have all the old Sherwood residents, as I call it, and then new Sherwood is over on Cade's side. Well, and where do you live? You're like in the Park Hill area, Lakewood?
No, I could walk to my house in 12 minutes from where we're standing. So
okay.
I'm in Timber Creek, right behind the ball field, Crestwood Ball Fields. If you live in North Little Rock, you know the Crestwood Ball Fields.
Oh, yeah.
So right there.
But, yeah, cool. Okay, so tell us a little bit about what got you into running for office.
Well, I got a little upset back last August. My daughter showed up to meet the teacher night at Crestwood, and she didn't have a teacher. This is my middle one, the most precocious one we've got, and her not having a teacher was devastating.
Like the teacher quit?
Nope, she didn't have a teacher. So they had too many kids in her grade level, so that would have been third grade, and they didn't have enough teachers because what the district tried to do is basically overfill Crestwood, and because they knew Crestwood, for one, it's being an A school. It's one of the best schools in the district in North Little Rock. So they overfilled, and they were scrambling to find a teacher, and they said, everything's fine. We'll have someone by Monday. This is obviously Thursday before Monday. School starts on Monday. I was like, okay. We calmed her down. Again, she's our intense one. She's the future president of the United States. But and then we found out our now first grader didn't have one either. And that's when I kind of lost my mind. And like, what's happening here? Clearly, this is what's the plan? One of the teachers we know well said, school board meeting's about to start. And I thought, my wife saw the look in my eyes. I'm taking off and I'm going to this school board meeting. And of course, I missed the public forum by about a minute. And so I had to sit there and listen to the brand new junior high that still has not been built or paid for yet. And I just sat there and got madder and madder and madder. That night, I went and filled out some paperwork with contest every race. Yep. And then I started looking up my school board area. I couldn't run until 26. And then I thought, well, my wife mentioned, what about city council? Also 26, which now that's changed. But anyway, I kind of dropped it. A consultant reached out and talked to them. And I said, I don't know. I was wanting to do something kind of small, and I think that's not available. And then a good friend, Deborah Mitchell, as everyone knows her very well.
Yep.
I worked with her at UAMS. And she's the director of the Arkansas Black Caucus, or current chairman.
She's the president of the Black Caucus. I'm a lifetime member, so she does great work.
I'm having lunch with her tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, I love Deborah Mitchell.
We're going to get out the vote before, obviously, it was October 7th deadline. So, anyway, I sat down with lunch with her, and she didn't sell me on it. She just said, what were you thinking when you wanted to run? And we had just an amazing lunch. I said, all right, I'll start doing the work. I'll talk to my friends. Like I said, some of those folks have been in politics for a while. Talk to them. Talk to the family. Obviously.
And most of your friends are conservative. They're
That's
Republicans.
Correct. Most of my friends around town are Republicans. We send our oldest daughter to private school, which is, great. IC is an amazing school. Other two go to Crestwood Public. We fully support that. Any parent to choose whatever they want to do in that regard. But yeah, everyone was very supportive, probably too supportive of me thinking, hey, what if I ran to be your state representative? Went up to Fayetteville to see the Hogs play, and our entire tailgate was all for it. So I sent a text to Will Watson and Deborah that night and said I was going to run. And here we are. And
you've been doing great work. We have more people running in this election as Democrats than we have since we had the House, since we carried the House. And thank you for stepping up and running, because you're in a district that you can win.
I mean, as you know, and hopefully the listeners find out, 2 cycles ago, Matthew Stallings lost by 16 votes. The previous cycle in District 70, Chris Jones won this district. And in parts of it, he beats Governor Sanders by 10 and 12 points. In those districts, or those precincts, I should say, our message has gone over very well. And I think It's a very flippable district, and I guess I made a rash decision because I ran so quick. I didn't know how winnable it was, and that's what's very encouraging thus far.
Yeah, we did a lot of research on your district. My wife and I did, because we were recruiting. We were trying to find somebody. We grew up here, so we felt like it was something we needed to do to find somebody to go against Carlton Wing. And when I heard you were running, I did research. I was happy. And, of course, I talked to Deborah and Grant and Will and everybody was gung-ho. And you've been a great candidate. I appreciate what you do. We're going to talk a little bit about what your vision is. Like, it's so funny you mentioned third grade, because third grade plays a crucial role in LEARNs. And if we don't have third grade teachers right now, according to LEARNs, if they can't pass the standardized test, they're staying in the third grade.
Correct.
And if we don't have enough teachers now to do it, we could have a big problem on our hand.
Well, so far, and I don't think I was figuring out a turn here, just what we've seen at Crestwood, where our girls are. They're obviously past kindergarten and first grade. Everyone knows the first year LEARNs Act. If you had a kindergartner, you're automatically eligible. Take your kiddo, send them to private school, and use your voucher. And obviously, I'm not going to talk about the other qualifiers, but so that's been 2 years of that. We've seen at Crestwood, the first grade class has dropped a teacher. There's not as many kids, and the same thing's happening in kindergarten. We're already losing teachers. So what's that going to do to the budget? What's that going to do to the size of the school? They keep trying to fill it, which is the whole reason I decided to run, to keep up. But now I don't know what the future holds there. Like, how does that all work out?
Because right now, one of the things that we got to look at is the teacher pay, like you're talking about. That teacher pay, there was funds available for the first 2 years. And in the first 2 years, 5% of the amount of students were going to be funded going to private school. In the second year, it was 10%. In the third year, it's 100%.
That's the scary part.
And they don't have a mechanism for funding the teacher pay in year 3 when we're seeing the chance for all the kids to jump out of the schools. And it could create this abyss, like where you're losing money and you're losing teachers, and sometimes schools aren't going to be able to come back from that.
No, I don't see how they come back. I mean, I know the thing that's tied into LEARNs that everyone's happy about is a $50,000 minimum teacher pay, which is great. But they're losing so many teachers because they can't get their increase, and they surely won't get it after the third year.
Right.
And I'm assuming the thought is the brand new teachers are the best teachers, right? That not someone who's been there 15 and 20 and 25 years, who put their heart, blood, and soul into these students. Both my parents were teachers. My dad was a superintendent of schools in Oklahoma. That's how I grew up. I was the kid playing with the laminator. So, I mean, these are the people that are so core to these communities. Obviously, I live in a big town for Arkansas, but we're talking about the smaller towns, especially where we're going to see it continually hurt everyone.
Oh, yeah, it's going to close down some schools. So let's shift a little bit and tell me, have you been involved in your community?
So, yeah, I've been here since 06, first job out of college, lived in Little Rock for a while. My good friend said, once we had gotten married and decided to start a family, said you should look in North Little Rock. It's where I grew up, and you get twice the house for half the money, which we found out to be very true right away. Lived over on the Bunker Hill neighborhood for a number of years. We started our family, got 3 girls. I guess my biggest involvement with the community has always been coaching, big micro soccer, having those relationships. So I don't have enough dads with the Holladay for Arkansas hats on yet, but I'd say that's the biggest thing. And then being part of the elementary school that's right down the road from us is how we've been mainly involved.
So I would describe it from the outside looking in. You're a member of the community trying to make a difference for the people and speak up and work for the people in your community.
That's the goal. I mean,
I can appreciate that. I wish we had more of that instead of people working for corporate or working for outside interests.
I mean, I work for UAMS every day.
So let's talk about core values. I think you consider yourself a moderate.
That's correct.
And we've talked a little bit about that offline, but give us a little bit about your core values and kind of what guides your thought process, and how are you going to legislate? How are you going to make your decisions once you're elected to the legislature?
That's so funny. I can't even think about legislating. I shouldn't even say that, but one thing Ashley Hudson told me is if you actually get through this thing and manage to win, the hardest thing you're going to have to do on November 6th is then you have to start legislating. And that is always stuck in my brain, and I think I would have a lot to learn. First-time candidate. I've dealt with a lot of state policies in the past with working with UAMS, but I think the core values for me are just honesty and integrity. My dad always said, if you don't tell a lie, you don't have to remember a thing, and I don't remember much, according to my wife. So apparently I tell the truth a lot, but I think it's just simple. Honesty and integrity. The most important decisions for me are going to be first of all, North Little Rock. That's where I live. Both my wife and I do work for UAMS, but I work from home. My wife works from home. We could live anywhere in the world. I think Lakewood is an amazing community. We found it, and now we've chosen it because we've had the opportunity to move in the past. I have no desire to do that now as we're raising our family. So when I think about being honest, being a person of character, I think back to what's the most important thing for Lakewood, and then what's going to help Arkansas as a whole. Because I'll make decisions that may not be for North Little Rock or for Lakewood or District 70, but what's the best thing for the state of Arkansas?
And you're running as a Democrat.
That's correct.
We didn't talk about that much before, but I don't feel like that's a priority to you. Party politics.
I'm not gonna lie. I could probably offend some people. I can't. You can't win as an independent, right? It's just not possible. I don't think, unless you've got a ton of your own money. Maybe I shouldn't say that, but I don't. Republican or Democrat, just meet me in the middle. We can make honest, simple decisions. So many of these issues, I think, they've just been blown to the right, been blown to the left, and to me, and maybe I'm simple, I feel like some of the answers are always just so simple. Like we can come to common understanding with each other. Like, all right, I'll give you this, you give me that. Let's walk away and shake hands. I think we've lost a lot of that.
Absolutely, and if we can bring people together, we're going to make a whole lot more of a difference. What is there anything else as we kind of close up? Anything other message that you want to give to the people? Any lasting things to think about Alex Holladay and what you want them to leave this podcast thinking about?
Well, I think Democrats get a bad name, like we're not tough. So, I've got 5 older sisters. As I've always told my mom and all my sisters, my wife, now my daughters, you can't hurt me. So if you choose me as your candidate, I have no doubt I'll be able to fight for you because I've never been able to be hurt. And I want to fight for North Little Rock, fight for the state of Arkansas, and what I think my constituents would say is right, and that what we need done to make this a better place.
Absolutely. Okay, so tell listeners, I know we need a couple of things. We need money.
Correct.
Because you got to have money to put yard signs out. You got to have money to do ads. You got to have that money. So tell us how people can donate. And then I know you also need volunteers. You're trying to knock on doors. You're trying to get to as many people as you can. And tell us how to reach out to you in your campaign.
So just really simple, holladayforarkansas.com. My name is spelled a little different, Holladay. Everybody ever has spelled it wrong. Other than that, actually, just even from tonight, talking to a nice woman we just met, she said, I can give you $5 each month until the election. I said, didn't you say you could write postcards? That saves me $20 an hour. Like that investment in just writing, if you want to write 100 postcards, you'd save me a ton of money. And that time that you put in it is so valuable to me. Like, I can't even thank you enough. Knocking on doors, I know a lot of people don't want to do it. And I got to say this. Obviously, first-time candidate, I'd never knocked on a door in my life. That is my favorite thing.
Yeah.
Raising the money and getting the message out there. And our message has gone very well, but actually knocking on a door and talking to people are nice. Everybody thinks people are, they're a little different sometimes, but they're nice. They're still Arkansans, folks. Like they care about their community. They want to talk to you about it.
We have so much more in common than we have differences.
I've knocked, I don't know how many yet. I'll count at the end of the election. I've had one bad interaction. That's it so far.
So guys, if you are sitting in another district around Arkansas listening to this podcast and you want to support Alex, you can write postcards from where you're at. You can make phone calls from where you're at. You can do texts from where you're at. We need help. And Alex is one of what we're calling one of the 8 districts that can flip the supermajority.
That's correct.
And if we win those 8, and Alex is one of them, we can break the supermajority, which means more than people think, because now anytime they have budgetary decisions, anytime there's things that's going to happen through the legislature, they have to listen, because we're going to have the power to keep budgetary things from happening that are out of line, and that's big because right now we don't have that in Arkansas. So we need to break the supermajority. We need help, and we need you to help Alex. One more time.
Holladay for Arkansas.com, HOLLADAY for Arkansas.com.
And that's FOR, not the number, right?
FOR, that's correct.
I do the number 4. A lot of people that do that. But just go on there and you can find out more about Alex and what he stands for. Y'all, this has been Community Conversations. I'm Steve Grappe, and thanks for tuning in. Remember, it's up to us to get out there and make a difference. We can change our own communities, but we got to do it one voice at a time. Thanks, and we'll see you next time. Thanks, Alex.
Thank you.